Welcome to my channel Truth Drama Stories. My name is Olivia Carter, and today I will share a powerful story about a family feud like no other. I married my ex's dad to hurt them. This story is about love, betrayal, revenge, and consequences. It is about how pain can twist good intentions. It is about the day I chose revenge over healing. I never thought I could hurt someone like that, but heartbreak changes people in strange ways. It turns soft hearts into sharp weapons. 3 years ago, I was deeply in love. His name was Ethan Brooks. He was charming, confident, and wildly ambitious. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party. He made me laugh within 5 minutes. I felt safe when he looked at me. Ethan introduced himself with a warm smile. "Hi, I'm Ethan. I think we were meant to meet." I rolled my eyes but felt butterflies. I was 24 back then. He was 26 and finishing business school. Everything felt simple and bright. For 2 years, we built a life together. We planned trips and talked about marriage. He promised me forever more times than I can count. I believed every word he said. I trusted him with my whole heart. That was my first mistake. Ethan came from a wealthy family. His father, Daniel Brooks, owned several restaurants. His mother had passed away years earlier. Daniel was tall, calm, and serious. He rarely smiled, but when he did, it mattered. He treated me with quiet respect. The first time I met Daniel, I was nervous. He studied me like he was reading a contract. Then he simply said, "Take care of my son." I promised him I would. I had no idea how that promise would shatter. Everything changed one rainy evening. Ethan said he was working late. Something in his voice felt distant. I tried to ignore the uneasy feeling, but my chest felt tight all night. My instincts were screaming at me. Around 10, I drove to his apartment. I told myself I was being dramatic. I just wanted to surprise him. The lights were on inside. Music played softly through the walls. My heart started pounding hard. I knocked once and waited. No answer came. I knocked again, louder this time. Then I heard laughter. A woman's laughter. It was not mine. The door opened slowly. Ethan stood there, shirt half buttoned. His face drained of color instantly. Behind him stood Sophie Miller. She was my close friend since college. She was wearing his shirt. For a second, the world stopped spinning. I could not hear my own breathing. Everything felt unreal and distant. "Olivia, I can explain," Ethan whispered. Sophie avoided my eyes completely. That silence said more than words. I walked past him into the apartment. Their wine glasses sat on the table. 2 candles burned beside the couch. "How long?" I asked quietly. No one answered me. That hurt more than shouting. "How long?" I repeated, louder this time. Ethan rubbed his face in frustration. "It just happened," he said weakly. I laughed, but it sounded broken. "Nothing just happens like this," I replied. Sophie finally spoke, voice shaking. "We didn't mean to hurt you," she said. Those words felt like knives. They had already hurt me beyond repair. I left without another word. I drove home in heavy rain. My tears mixed with the storm outside. That night, something inside me died. Not just my relationship, but my innocence and trust. The next morning, my phone exploded. Ethan called 30 times. Sophie sent long apology messages. I ignored them both completely. Silence became my only defense. But silence does not heal wounds. A week later, Ethan showed up at my apartment. He looked tired and desperate. "Please talk to me," he begged. I crossed my arms tightly. "What is there to say?" I asked. "You chose her over me." "It was a mistake," he insisted. "It meant nothing." That sentence crushed whatever remained. "It meant everything," I replied calmly. "You broke my trust forever." He had no answer for that. When he realized I was serious, his expression changed completely. The softness turned into anger. "You're overreacting," he snapped suddenly. "People cheat. It happens." That was the moment I truly saw him. The kind man I loved vanished. In his place stood a stranger. A selfish, careless stranger. I asked him to leave immediately. He slammed the door on his way out. The echo shook my entire body. Days turned into weeks, slowly. Rumors spread through our friend circle. Some people sided with Ethan. They said I was too dramatic. They said I should forgive him. But none of them felt my pain. Sophie stopped contacting me completely. She started posting pictures with Ethan online, smiling like nothing had happened. Each photo felt like a public insult, like they were mocking my heartbreak, like I never mattered at all. One afternoon, I ran into Daniel Brooks. It happened at one of his restaurants downtown. I had not seen him since the breakup. He looked surprised to see me. "Olivia," he said gently, "I heard about everything." My throat tightened instantly. Embarrassment washed over me. I hated that he knew. "I'm sorry," he added quietly. "Ethan made a terrible mistake." His voice carried disappointment. I nodded but said nothing. I did not trust myself to speak. My emotions were too raw. Daniel invited me to sit. We shared coffee in awkward silence. He looked older than before. "I raised him better," Daniel muttered. There was real regret in his eyes. That surprised me deeply. "He is responsible for his choices," I replied. Daniel studied me carefully again. This time, not like a contract. "You deserve better," he said firmly. Those words felt strangely comforting. No one else had said that. For the first time, I felt seen. Not pitted, not blamed, just seen. We talked for almost an hour. About life, about loyalty, about disappointment. He listened more than he spoke. When I left, I felt lighter. Not healed, but slightly steadier. Daniel's kindness lingered in my thoughts. Over the next few weeks, I kept running into him unexpectedly, at cafes, at charity events, at his restaurants. Each time we talked longer. Each time I felt calmer around him. It was confusing and unexpected. He was 25 years older than me. He was my ex-boyfriend's father. Nothing about it made sense. Yet he treated me with respect. He valued my opinions. He never dismissed my feelings. One evening, he said something surprising. "Ethan doesn't deserve you," Daniel stated calmly. "You have strength he lacks." I looked at him carefully. "Why are you telling me this?" He paused before answering. "Because I regret raising a man who hurt you." His honesty felt heavy and real. It stirred something complicated inside me. Around that time, I saw Ethan again. He was holding Sophie's hand publicly. They laughed as if I never existed. Something dark ignited inside my chest. It was not sadness anymore. It was anger. Hot, sharp, consuming anger. They moved on so easily. They looked happy and free, while I was still picking pieces. That night, I could not sleep. Revenge whispered quietly in my mind. It sounded dangerous yet tempting. I remembered Daniel's steady voice. I remembered his disappointed eyes. An impossible idea slowly formed. At first, I pushed it away. It felt insane and cruel, but the thought returned again. What if I could hurt Ethan back? What if he felt even half my pain? The idea grew stronger each day. Daniel invited me to dinner soon after. Just a simple meal, nothing serious. At least that was the plan. We sat across from each other quietly. Soft music played in the background. The air felt charged somehow. "Olivia, you seem different lately," he observed. "Are you all right?" I forced a small smile. "I'm learning," I answered slowly. "Learning not to be weak." He frowned at that word. "You were never weak," Daniel said firmly. "Being loyal is not weakness." His defense warmed my heart. And then I looked at him differently, not as Ethan's father, but as a powerful man, a respected businessman, a proud father. a man Ethan admired deeply. Suddenly, my revenge had a shape, clear, bold, and shocking. It scared even me. I took a slow breath. My heart pounded loudly. Daniel, I began carefully. He waited patiently for me to continue. I could see curiosity in his eyes. This was the moment everything shifted. I held his gaze for a long second. My pulse thundered in my ears. There was no turning back now. Daniel, I said softly, what if we stopped pretending? He looked confused by my words. I'm not sure I understand, he replied calmly. His voice stayed steady, as always. What if we saw where this goes? I asked, forcing confidence into my tone. Not as friends. Something more. Silence fell between us instantly. The restaurant noise faded into nothing. Only his breathing filled the space. Olivia, he said slowly, choosing words carefully. You're hurt right now. I don't want to be your escape. I'm not escaping, I answered firmly. I'm choosing. Even I questioned that truth. He studied my face for weakness. He found determination instead. That seemed to shake him. You understand what this means? His eyes were intense now. Ethan would never forgive this. A cold spark flashed inside me. That's not my responsibility anymore, I replied. He made his choices. Daniel leaned back in his chair. His jaw tightened slightly. He was thinking deeply. I have always respected you, he admitted, from the first day we met. His honesty made my chest tighten. And I respect you, I said quietly. You listen. You see people. Ethan never really did. He exhaled slowly. This was dangerous territory. But neither of us moved away. Are you sure this isn't revenge? He asked the question directly. It hit exactly where it hurt. I hesitated for half a second. That half second said everything. But I recovered quickly. Maybe it started as anger. I confessed. But I'm not a child. I know what I'm doing. Daniel looked torn inside. His loyalty to his son was clear. Yet something else pulled him toward me. I won't be used, he said firmly. His tone was not angry. It was protective. I'm not using you, I replied gently. I'm offering you a choice too. You don't owe Ethan blind loyalty. That sentence changed his expression. Something old and unresolved surfaced. Their relationship was not perfect. You don't know everything, he murmured. There have been disappointments before. That surprised me deeply. For the first time, I saw cracks in their bond. It was not the perfect family image. Then maybe we both deserve honesty, I said. No games. No lies. He nodded slowly. Dinner ended without a clear answer. But something had shifted permanently. The line had been crossed. 2 days passed in silence. I almost thought he would disappear. Maybe he made the safe choice. Then my phone rang unexpectedly. His name lit up the screen. My heart skipped a beat. Olivia, Daniel said calmly. I've been thinking. His voice sounded resolved. And I asked quietly. My hands were shaking. Slightly. This felt bigger than me. If we do this, he continued, we do it honestly. No hiding. No shame. My breath caught. He was agreeing. He was actually agreeing. I don't want secrets, he added, and I won't lie to my son. That would destroy everything. A thrill mixed with fear inside me. Then don't lie, I replied. Tell him the truth. We met that evening at his office. The city lights glowed outside. Everything felt surreal and intense. He stood near the window, tall, composed, powerful. Yet his eyes showed conflict. Once we begin, there's no undoing it, he said. Ethan will see this as betrayal. I almost laughed at the irony. He betrayed me first, I answered coldly. Now he can face consequences. The bitterness in my voice was sharp. Daniel stepped closer, slowly. Close enough to feel his warmth, but not close enough to touch. I don't want to hurt my son, he admitted, even if he disappointed me. That humanity made this complicated. Do you care about me? I asked suddenly. The question surprised even me, but I needed clarity. He looked directly into my eyes. Yes, he said without hesitation. I care about you deeply. That answer shifted everything. It was no longer just revenge. It became something real and risky. He reached for my hand gently. His touch was steady and warm, not rushed or desperate. Then let's face whatever comes, he said. Together. That word echoed loudly in my mind. The first time we were seen together. It happened at one of his restaurants. We did not hide. We sat at a table near the front. Employees noticed immediately. Whispers started within minutes. I felt every stare on my skin. Judgment filled the air. But I kept my chin high. Daniel remained calm and composed. He even placed his hand over mine. It was a clear statement. The news traveled fast. Faster than I expected. By night, Ethan knew. My phone exploded again. But this time, his voice was furious. "How dare you?" he shouted. "How dare I?" I repeated calmly. "You lost that right months ago." He was breathing hard. "You're dating my father?" His disbelief sounded almost broken. "That's sick, Olivia." "No," I replied steadily. "What you did was sick. This is just honesty." "You're doing this to hurt me," he accused. Silence stretched between us. I did not deny it. "You made your bed," I said finally. "Now lie in it." Then I ended the call. Minutes later, Sophie texted me. "You've lost your mind," she wrote. Maybe she was right. The next confrontation was unavoidable. Ethan showed up at Daniel's house. I was there when he arrived. The front door slammed loudly. "Dad," he yelled angrily. His voice echoed through the hall. Daniel remained composed beside me. He did not step away from me. That spoke volumes. "What is this?" Ethan demanded. His eyes burned with fury. He refused to look at me. "It's my decision," Daniel replied firmly. "I will not apologize." His tone carried authority. "She's my ex." Ethan shouted, "You can't do this." The hypocrisy was stunning. "You forfeited your claim," Daniel answered calmly. "When you betrayed her." Ethan flinched at that word. "This is disgusting," Ethan spat. "You're choosing her over me." Pain hid beneath his anger. "I'm choosing honesty," Daniel corrected, "and I won't support your behavior." The tension was unbearable. Ethan finally looked at me directly. "You planned this," he accused bitterly. His eyes searched for weakness. I held his gaze without blinking. "You taught me how betrayal feels," I said. "I learned quickly." For a moment, I saw real hurt in his expression. It almost softened me. Almost. But then I remembered the candles. The laughter behind the door. The humiliation. "You're not the victim," I told him. "Not this time." My voice did not shake. Ethan turned to his father again. "If you continue this," he warned, "don't expect me around." Daniel's face hardened slightly. "That is your choice," he replied. "I won't control you." Ethan stormed out moments later. The door slammed like thunder. Silence filled the house afterward. My heart was racing wildly. I did not expect it to feel this heavy. Victory did not taste sweet. Daniel looked at me thoughtfully. "Are you all right?" he asked softly. Concern replaced tension. "I don't know," I admitted honestly. "This feels bigger than revenge." It felt like war. "You still have time to walk away," he said. "I won't blame you." That offer surprised me. I considered it briefly. This path was messy and painful, but turning back meant losing power. "I'm not walking away," I said firmly. "Not this time." Something inside me had changed. Over the next weeks, our relationship became public knowledge. Friends took sides quickly. Some called me manipulative. Some called Daniel reckless. Few understood the truth. Sophie posted subtle insults online. Ethan avoided family events completely. The feud was now official. Yet privately, something unexpected happened. Daniel treated me with genuine care. Not as a weapon, He asked about my dreams. He supported my career ideas. He listened without judgment. That confused my emotions deeply. Was I still seeking revenge or building something real? One evening, as we sat together, quietly, he asked a question that froze me. Do you see a future with me? The word future felt heavy. This was no longer about Ethan. This was about my life. I looked at Daniel carefully. Strong, loyal, imperfect, human. He was not a game. Yes, I whispered finally. I see something real. And, for the first time, I meant it. Daniel searched my face carefully. He needed to know I was certain. I did not look away. Olivia, he said softly, this will change everything. It already has, I replied honestly. There is no normal left. That truth felt heavy, but real. He nodded slowly in agreement. Then he took a steady breath. I don't want to hide you. The sincerity in his voice surprised me. This was not a secret affair. He was serious about us. A week later, he invited me home, not as a guest, but as someone important. His house was large and elegant. I had been there many times before, but this visit felt different. Family portraits lined the hallway walls. Ethan's childhood pictures were everywhere, smiling, innocent, unaware of the future. For a moment, guilt touched me. I was stepping into complicated territory, yet I kept walking forward. Daniel showed me his late wife's study. This was her favorite room, he said quietly. His voice carried old sadness. Her name was Margaret Brooks. She had passed away 10 years earlier. The loss still shaped him. I loved her deeply, he admitted softly. I never thought I'd feel again. That confession felt sacred. I respected that honesty deeply. I'm not here to replace anyone, I said gently. I just want truth between us. He gave me a grateful look. That's why I admire you, he replied. You speak from the heart. As weeks passed, our connection grew stronger and calmer. It was not dramatic or loud. We shared dinners and long talks. We discussed business and personal dreams. He treated me as an equal. For the first time in years, I felt valued and heard, not just desired. But outside our quiet bubble, the storm kept building fiercely. Ethan refused to stay silent. He began spreading rumors about me. He called me manipulative and unstable. He painted himself as the victim. Some mutual friends believed him. Others stayed neutral to avoid conflict. My social circle shrank quickly. One afternoon, my friend Rachel visited. She had known me since childhood. Her concern was genuine. Are you sure about this? She asked carefully. This looks like revenge from outside. Her words stung. It started that way, I admitted slowly, but it isn't that anymore. At least I hoped not. Rachel studied my expression closely. Just don't lose yourself, she warned gently. That advice stayed with me. Meanwhile, Daniel faced pressure too. Business partners questioned his judgment. Family friends whispered behind his back. Yet he stood firm beside me. He never distanced himself publicly. That loyalty meant everything. Then, one evening, Ethan showed up unexpectedly again. This time, he looked broken. His anger was replaced by exhaustion. Dark circles framed his eyes. Something was clearly wrong. Can we talk? He asked quietly. Not to his father. To me. Daniel hesitated, but stepped aside. We moved to the garden outside. The air felt cold and tense. Ethan avoided my gaze at first. I messed up, he admitted suddenly. His voice trembled slightly. You already said that months ago, I replied calmly. What's different now? I kept my distance. Sophie left, he said bluntly. The words hung heavily between us. I felt nothing at first. She said I was selfish, he continued. She said I never take responsibility. That sounded familiar. And I asked quietly. I refused to show sympathy. He needed to face truth. And I think she was right, he whispered. For the first time, I saw genuine regret. He looked at the house behind me. You really love him? He asked carefully. There was no anger now. I took a slow breath. Yes, I answered honestly. The word felt solid. He flinched slightly at that. I never thought you'd go this far, he admitted. Not with my father. You never thought I'd walk away either, I replied. But here we are. Growth changes people. Ethan rubbed his face in frustration. I was scared of commitment, he confessed. I sabotaged something real. Those words would have healed me once, but now they felt distant, like echoes from another life. I needed you to choose me, I said softly. You chose comfort instead. He had no defense left. I don't want to lose my father too, he added. His voice cracked slightly. That vulnerability surprised me. You didn't lose him, I said honestly. You pushed him away. Truth can be painful. He looked toward the house again. He never defied me before, he murmured. This feels like betrayal. I almost laughed at that irony. Now you understand, I replied quietly. Our eyes met one last time. Ethan left without shouting, without slamming doors, just heavy silence. When I returned inside, Daniel watched me carefully. He sensed the emotional shift. He seems different, Daniel observed. He looked defeated. There was fatherly pain in his voice. He is finally facing consequences, I replied. But my tone was softer now, less sharp than before. Daniel stepped closer, gently. Does this still feel right to you? He needed reassurance. I paused before answering. My revenge fire had cooled. In its place stood clarity. I'm not here to punish him anymore, I said slowly. I'm here because I choose you. That truth felt freeing. Relief crossed Daniel's face. He pulled me into a warm embrace. For once, it felt peaceful. Months passed steadily afterward. The public drama slowly faded. People moved on to new gossip. Ethan kept his distance respectfully. We no longer exchanged angry words. Time softened the edges. One evening, Daniel planned a small dinner. Just close friends and trusted partners. It felt intimate and important. Halfway through the evening, he stood and tapped his glass lightly. The room fell silent. I have something to share, he announced calmly. His eyes found mine instantly. My heart began racing. I have spent years building businesses, he continued, but love is harder to build. His voice was steady. He walked toward me slowly. Every step felt monumental. Guests watched with curiosity. Olivia, he said gently, you brought light back into my life. Emotion filled his eyes. My breath caught in my throat. This felt unreal yet inevitable. The room disappeared around us. I don't want more wasted time, he continued. I want a future built on honesty. His words were clear. Then he knelt before me. Gasps filled the room instantly. Time seemed to freeze. Will you marry me? He asked softly. No hesitation in his voice, just certainty. My mind flashed through everything. The betrayal, the anger, the revenge, the healing. This was no longer about hurting anyone. It was about choosing peace, choosing growth. Tears filled my eyes slowly. Yes, I whispered through emotion. Yes, I will. Applause erupted around us loudly. Daniel slipped the ring onto my finger. It felt heavy with meaning. In that moment, I realized something important. Revenge had started this path, but love had reshaped it completely. The engagement news spread faster than wildfire. By morning, everyone seemed to know. Some celebrated. Others judged quietly. Ethan heard within hours. He did not call this time. He did not shout or accuse. Instead, he sent a short message. I hope you're truly happy. Nothing more. Nothing less. I stared at the screen, silently. Months ago, that message would break me. Now it felt like closure. Wedding planning began quickly. Daniel preferred something intimate and elegant. I agreed without hesitation. We chose a small coastal venue. Soft waves would echo behind us. Peace felt important now. As invitations went out, one question remained unavoidable. Would Ethan attend? Daniel left that choice to him. I won't force him, he said calmly. He must decide as a man. Days passed without an answer. Part of me felt nervous. Part of me felt strangely calm. The night before the wedding, I stood alone by the ocean. Wind tangled my hair softly. I thought about the girl I was. The girl who cried in the rain. The girl who wanted revenge. I barely recognized her anymore. Pain had shaped me differently, but it had not destroyed me. Footsteps approached behind me slowly. I turned and saw Ethan standing there. He looked older somehow. I won't stay long, he said quietly. I just needed to see you. His voice held no anger. I folded my arms gently. The ocean roared between us. Everything felt symbolic. I was cruel to you, he admitted. I blamed everyone except myself. That honesty felt real. I know, I replied softly. I carried that pain for months. The words felt lighter now. He nodded, staring at the waves. When I saw the engagement announcement, I felt something shift. What shifted? I asked carefully. He exhaled slowly before answering. I realized I never fought for you, he said. I only fought when I lost control. That truth cut deep. Silence stretched between us again. But this silence felt calm, not sharp like before. I don't hate you, I told him honestly. I don't want to. Forgiveness surprised even me. He looked relieved at that. You deserve stability, he said quietly. My father can give you that. And you? I asked gently. He gave a small, sad smile. I need to learn how to grow up, he answered. For real this time. It was the most mature thing he'd said. For a moment, we stood peacefully. Two people who once loved deeply. Now, simply human and flawed. I hope you find happiness, he said sincerely. Then he turned and walked away. No drama, no bitterness. I watched him disappear into darkness, and I felt something release inside me. The feud finally felt over. The next morning, sunlight filled the sky. The ocean shimmered with quiet beauty. It felt like a fresh beginning. I stood in a simple white dress. Not extravagant, just elegant. Daniel waited near the shoreline. When he saw me walking toward him, his expression softened completely. Love replaced every doubt. Guests sat in neat rows quietly. Close friends, trusted partners, and a few surprised faces. To my quiet shock, Ethan sat in the back row, alone and composed. He gave a small, respectful nod. No hostility in his eyes, just acceptance. The ceremony began gently. The minister spoke about second chances, about choosing love over pride. Daniel held my hands firmly. His grip was steady and warm. It grounded me completely. Olivia, he said during his vows, you entered my life through chaos. Soft laughter filled the air. But you stayed through truth, he continued. You challenged me to be better. Emotion thickened his voice. I promise honesty and loyalty, he said clearly. I promise partnership, not control. Those words mattered deeply. When it was my turn, I looked into his steady eyes. No revenge lived there anymore. I once acted from pain. I began softly, but love reshaped my intentions. The crowd listened closely. You treated me with respect. I continued. You saw strength when I felt broken. Tears filled my eyes. I promised to stand beside you, I said firmly, not as a weapon, but as a partner. That truth felt powerful. We exchanged rings under open sky. The ocean breeze carried applause. It felt peaceful and complete. When the minister declared us married, Daniel kissed me gently. No drama, just certainty. The reception was warm and relaxed. Laughter replaced old whispers. Tension seemed distant now. At one point, Ethan approached us. The room quieted slightly. Everyone sensed the history. He looked at his father first, then at me, calm and steady. "I wish you both happiness," he said clearly. No sarcasm hid in his tone, just quiet acceptance. Daniel stepped forward and hugged him. It was not dramatic, but it was meaningful. Watching them reconcile, softly, I felt something unexpected. Relief. This story had started with revenge. It could have ended with destruction. Instead, it found growth. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the water, I stood beside my husband. Yes, husband. The word felt real and grounded, not rebellious, not shocking. "Do you regret any of it?" he asked gently. The question carried weight. He deserved honesty. I thought carefully before answering. "I regret the pain," I admitted, "but not the lesson." He nodded thoughtfully. "Pain forces reflection," he said, "and reflection builds character." Looking back, I see everything clearly. Revenge felt powerful at first, but it was empty. What truly healed me was choice. Choosing self-respect, choosing accountability. Ethan's betrayal broke me once, but it also revealed my strength. It pushed me toward growth. Marrying Daniel shocked everyone. It started as a reaction, but it became intention. I learned that anger burns fast, love builds slowly, and forgiveness frees deeply. If I had chosen hatred, I would still be trapped in it. Instead, I chose transformation. Life does not always follow clean lines. Sometimes it twists through chaos. Sometimes it surprises us. But in the end, we are responsible for our choices, not our pain. As the night ended, I looked at the ocean once more. Calm, endless, steady, just like the peace inside me now. Thank you for listening to my story. Sometimes family feuds create destruction. Sometimes they create unexpected healing. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. This is Olivia Carter, and you've been watching Truth Drama Stories. Until next time, stay strong and choose wisely.